Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Rebecca Sowden, a recovering super spender, and this year, for the entire year, I'm doing a no-buy challenge. My main 4 categories for no-buy being clothing, shoes, skincare, and makeup. And for the skincare and makeup, I'm allowed to replace the things that I currently have in my routine when I run out of them, but I am not allowed to try anything new. So if it's trending, if it's like a must-have, if it's like a new lippy or a new blush that I want to try that I have to spend money on, I'm not allowed to get it. I'm not going to go thrifting. I'm not doing the thing where if you sell some stuff that you have, you can buy new stuff. I'm just not acquiring any new clothing if I have to spend money on it in any fashion, because I want to force myself to shop my closet, which brings me to another stipulation of my no-buy. I'm not decluttering my wardrobe at all, because I'll tell you what, I have a history of massively decluttering my wardrobe, and then a couple months down the line, I need something that I got rid of. And that's just too high risk when you're doing a year-long no-buy. Because if you're doing a month-long no-buy or like 3 months of a no-buy, you just have to survive for that little tiny time frame. But a lot can happen in a year, and I just can't take any chances because I've given myself no way out when it comes to clothing. Other than that, I do have some money guidelines, the biggest one being every single week, I get $200 that I can spend, and that is the money that I'm using to be alive on. And by being alive, I mean that's the money that I can spend on a day-to-day basis on food, transportation, and everything else that is not listed as a no-buy item. I break it up by putting $85 into food, $65 into transportation, and then up to $50 for discretionary spending. And I do have to be specific about amounts. Otherwise, I'll do this thing where I spend too much money on food and then I don't have enough money for transportation, and then I spend all of my discretionary money too soon. And basically, the whole thing collapses if I do not give myself enough structure to accurately figure out how much money I have for each of these categories. So if I know exactly how much money I have for food, I am able to spread that out for the whole week. If I know how much money I have for transportation, that's also easier for me to feel safe about because I'm not worried about stepping on its toes. And then discretionary spending can just be whatever I need it to be. So if I run out of money on food or transportation and I need a little bit of a cushion, that's what the discretionary funds are low-key for, but they're also for things like if I want to go out with friends, if I want to go see a movie. It covers everything else. $50 for the discretionary spending is supposed to, supplement my life, give me some freedom. So today's video, we're actually going to review week 6 of my no-buy because it just came to a close. And to do that, we are going to be looking at my full year spending tracker, which is something that I made in Google Sheets from scratch for myself because I tried transaction tracking and it was hard. I didn't like keeping track of every little detail, every single thing I bought and like writing it down. I couldn't do it. So instead I decided to make something that was calendar style. So I can just add up my daily totals at the end of the week and I can still see what I've done in a timely fashion. So I feel like a week is a short enough time period where I don't feel like, okay, well, I've already messed up this month, so now I have to wait till next month. It's more like, okay, well, this week was a little bit of a high spend week, so next week we'll try something different. And it just gives me more control within a quicker time frame. So that's why I do it the way that I do. If you're interested in using my full year spending tracker, it is available in my Stan store, which is in the notes of this video. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump right in. On Sunday, I spent $59.19. Monday, $19.28. Tuesday was a no spend day. Wednesday, $35.52. Thursday, $0. Friday, $10.84. And then Saturday, $64.36, which brings us to a total spent of $189.19. Not my highest spend week, but it was higher than I normally like it to be. I definitely spent more money on food because I went to the grocery store twice and I bought things that I didn't need, but I wanted. Like I wanted a little sweet treat, so I bought a couple of pints of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. And then on top of that, I was eating out more than I normally do. I went to Panera 3 times. I went to Taco Bell probably 3 or 4 times. And when I go to Taco Bell, I always get something for my grandpa. He's 94 and he really likes their tacos. So I'll get my Crave Box, which is $6.50 for 2 entrees, a side, and a drink. And then I'll get 2 crunchy tacos for him. And that brings my total up to like $10 and some change, or maybe like almost $11. So it's not like anything insane. But if I'm going more than usual and every single time I'm spending an additional like $5, then it does add up. But honestly, it's worth it. The man is 94, so if I can make it work with my budget, I think it's a good time. I just need to lessen the amount of times that I'm eating out, which honestly I'm kind of set up for in this upcoming week because I do have those groceries and I don't buy the good stuff. Like I'm not buying fresh fruit and fresh veggies. I'm not buying stuff that goes bad really quickly. I'm buying frozen meals. So arguably I could be eating those meals for the next 3 weeks. I'm not going to, but if I wanted to, I could make it work. My goal for this week, I think, is to do like 2 at-home lunches. I think that's reasonable. I think it is. And you might be thinking, yeah, obviously it's reasonable. That's like basically nothing. I know. I hate eating at home though, so it's kind of high effort for me. I eat breakfast at home every single day. I am a breakfast person. It's the most important meal and most yummiest meal of the day. And I say that knowing that you eat the frozen Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwiches. They're so good. And they're so easy. You just throw them in the microwave. I love it. Oh. On Thursday, it was my 2-year wedding anniversary, and my husband and I live in different countries. We always have since the beginning of time, and immigration is slow, so I'm not going to expand on that. Yes, we plan on living in the same country. It's not entirely within our control, though, so it's just kind of a waiting game until it's not. But essentially, Thursday was our 2nd-year wedding anniversary, and we don't really get each other anything, but this year I wanted a couple of items, and by a couple of items, I mean a singular sweatshirt. And actually I wanted 2 sweatshirts that are currently in my Etsy. It's this one that is like bridal themed, and then I wanted this one which is money themed, and the sleeve says savings is self-care. And my birthday is actually this month too, so my husband ordered both of these sweatshirts for me, and the bridal themed one is for our anniversary, and then the savings is self-care is for my birthday, which is February 28th. That's right, I get the entire month. I'm one of those people, but I don't really plan on going crazy in terms of spending. Like I'm not saying anything along the lines of, for the month of February for my birthday, the no-buy rules are lifted. I just don't think that's necessary. If there was a purpose for that, if I was going on a trip or something in February, then maybe, but I don't know. I feel like my consumeristic appetite has been tampered for a little bit, is tamped down on, squashed, squeezed. What am I looking for? There's like a word. Squelched? I don't know about that. Anyways, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in spending money this month, so I'm just gonna let it pass. I'm gonna enjoy my birthday in terms of spending time with people, and I'm not expecting to spend additional money on anything really. Like I mentioned before, I did spend more money than anticipated on food, and the way that I made up the difference was by reaching into my discretionary fund. So the discretionary fund did come in clutch this week, and I used that for like everything that I needed. Everything that I needed, I think after, I want to say Friday. So Saturday is when the discretionary fund started picking up the slack. This past weekend, my best friend came over and we started working on episode 2 of our podcast called Life in Quarters. This next episode is going to be about budgeting unexpected income, which I am so psyched for. Our raw recording was 2 hours long. Actually, it was more like 2.5 hours long because we recorded a chunk and then we broke it up into 2 recording chunks. But we edited it down to like an hour. So I think that that's good. Last time it was like a 50-minute long episode, and I got a couple of notes from people saying that they wish we elaborated more on certain things. So this time we decided to let ourselves yap a little bit longer, provide a little bit more context, a little bit more backstory, and then if we get the feedback that we've simply talked too much, then we can adjust next time. But essentially this time, we let ourselves go. We did. She and I have very different relationships with budgeting. I love to know where every single dollar is going. I operate on a zero-based budget, which just means that there's not a single dollar that I receive that doesn't have a job. Like every single dollar is moving somewhere for a specific purpose, whether that's savings, whether that's for bills, whether that's for spending. It has a job and it knows what it is. Whereas Emma is a lot more fluid with her budget, she knows rough estimates. She knows when she needs to have around this much money to put towards this. But she's a lot more agile and a lot more go with the flow when it comes to budgeting. And there's a lot of factors that go into that. And a lot of it has to do with the level of unpredictable income that you're factoring into your life. Because right now, my unpredictable income is responsible for taking care of my savings, filling my Roth IRA, and potentially, but not certainly, paying off my car loan. That's what I would like it to do this year, but I'm not banking on it. I'm like, it would be nice, but I'm not going to count on being able to pay off my car loan. That's just a nice to have. That's like my stretch goal for this year. I've also started using these little microphones. I used this for my investment video, but it was set to the setting stereo and not mono or however you say that. And so the investment video only comes out of the left speaker, like especially if you have headphones in. So if you listen to that and you go, wow, are my headphones broken? No, I just didn't know how this little microphone works. So now the setting is what it should be. Hopefully, let me know if you are still only hearing it from one side of your audio. You know, I'll listen to this with my own headphones, and I don't know why I'm asking you to do that. I could totally do that for myself. Here's the thing though, if it is coming out on one headphone, I'm simply gonna accept that. We're gonna post it, and then next time I'm gonna try something else. But essentially, I'm just really hoping that this works out for me, because this is too long of a video for me to re-record, frankly. I've started posting on YouTube Shorts more. No, actually, let me take that back. I've started reposting my videos on all of my social media platforms. I wasn't doing that before. I was being very strategic about where I put what, but I figured just put it everywhere, see how it does. YouTube Shorts, I think like 5 people see my stuff, so it's very low risk of saying like it's gonna be an oversaturated market. If you follow me on every single platform, my apologies, and also I appreciate you oh so deeply. Oh so deeply. I have a couple of brand sponsored videos coming up that I am excited for. You'll see those when they get published. A lot of my money used to be automated whenever I got some of it. I used to have it automatically move to whatever account it was for, and I kind of stopped doing that. I had a few of them end in January. I don't know why I did that. They say like, when does it start? When does it end? And I think you can select it never ends, but I didn't do that. I let it end, and now I'm manually moving stuff once more. And that's fine for my unpredictable income, because unless I'm gonna set it at different percentages moving different places, and it's not really realistic. But for my bi-weekly paycheck, I pretty much know what that is now, so I could set definitive amounts of this is going here and this is going here. And honestly, that takes a load off of me. So I will be executing that plan actually immediately after finishing this video. And I have an update on Alliant Credit Union, which I did try last week. I opened an account, I moved money in there. Oh, the money movement is so flippin' slow. I think I might just want to take the chance and keep it in a high yield savings account at an online bank. And I think that I'm going to keep it in Ally for now, because I use their bucket system, but I am still interested in credit unions. I quite like them. I like the soul of credit unions. So we'll see. I'm gonna try a couple of other ones this year, but for now, I'm remaining at Ally Bank for my main high yield savings sinking funds. If you want more information on how I move my money around, you can either get my budget template, which has the money workflow on the very first tab, or you can just follow me on Instagram. I also post what I do with my money on there, but it's in a still chart form, which is easier for a lot of people to follow. One thing I do need to be better about is going to Pilates, because I have started making that transition from getting a dopamine hit from going to the class to getting a dopamine hit from not going to the class. And I need to make the shift, because going to the class gives me more dopamine than skipping the class does. And I'm paying $200 a month for an unlimited Pilates subscription, which means I need to be in there at least 3 times a week for that to be worth it, versus buying it like class by class or buying a pack of 5 to worth it. So I need to stop canceling those classes, because that's another thing too. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot about that. I canceled 2 of my Pilates classes this week, but it was too late, which means I paid an $11 fee per class that I canceled. That means I spent $222 to not take Pilates classes so far in the month of February. Actually, I've done 1, 2, 3. Okay, you know what? Actually, I've done 3 so far. Well, that's counting today. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. I've not been doing great, but I'm going to step it up with that. I'm going to make it worthwhile, because if I'm spending hundreds of bucks on a workout class, and I better be in that workout class, especially since it does really improve my mental health. It makes me feel more motivated. It makes me feel just like more energetic for my day. So it's very important that I don't cancel those, especially when it's too late to get my little fee back. You know what I mean? Oh, also on Wednesdays, I've decided I'm going to do some level of cardio, because I think that that's important for my heart health. I've noticed when it's time to go to sleep, my heart beats like a hummingbird's, and I don't think that that's a good sign. I feel like that's probably an unhealthy indicator, and I'm worried that stress is going to get me before I'm even 40. So we need to do some things to regulate. All right, you guys, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, on Flip. I recently remembered that I have a Flip account, which is also short form content. I don't really post on there that much, so you can actually skip that one if you would like, but I mean, it's there if you're interested. Hey. And then again, remember to subscribe to my podcast with my best friend. It's called Life in Quarters. That one's long form. I think it's great if you want to listen to it in the car, or if you want to put it on when you're taking a shower, just like passing time and you want some background noise that you don't actually have to watch a video for. I think the podcast is great for that. The next one is going to be really good. It's going to be a little bit technical, but a lot emotional, because money's emotional. Everything about money is emotional. And the sooner we recognize that, the sooner we can set ourselves up for success in the easiest way possible.